74 zettabytes, that's the approximate amount of data which is or will be created by the end of 2021. So, what does this even mean? Every zettabyte is equivalent to 1 trillion of gigabytes, which means another 74 zettabytes equals 74 trillion GB of data. So, in the world today, we have around 1.18 billion active websites. Now, imagine finding one website out of them which has a particular text or a particular image, and you're asked to find that single website out. And that's the challenge with almost every big MNC or even the world's mightiest tech person is experiencing in handling the data. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? Handling data and storing data. But I tell you, it's actually very difficult. So, hey everyone, we are here to present on the topic of application of NoSQL. And me and my teammates, Kavya, Nimish, Aniket, and Jeevan will be presenting on this topic in different domains. So, I'll be continuing with my domain, which is specifically in the Industry 4.0. Now, when I said that Industry 4.0, how many of you went to the Google and actually found out that meaning of what exactly is the meaning of Industry 4.0? No need to do that. Let me tell you that Industry 4.0 is just a term which is given to the fourth industrial revolution, which conceptualizes the rapid change to technology, industries, and societal patterns and processes, which are done in the 21st century due to increasing interconnectivity and smart automation. So Industry 4.0 is bringing together of robots, interconnected devices, and fast networks of data within a factory environment, basically to make the factory more productive and to execute the routine tasks that are best done by robots or not done best by the humans. So Industry 4.0 starts by moving industries towards Industry 5.0, which you begin to allow customers to customize what they want. So, big data and analytics is regarded as a technical pillar of Industry 4.0, since the data oriented paradigm has shown to be crucial for the technological transformation process that characterizes Industry 4.0. So, a number of system design concepts have been reported in order to achieve the so called smart factory. Many of these concepts handle data storage, and choosing the logical data model is very important because uh, this has the most important and considerable impact on the architecture's performance. So the challenges which an particular owner which faces is managing the availability of fresh and constantly growing website data, availability of older and historical data. Third one would be generating website usage patterns, and fourth one would be keeping the website performance up to the mark because competition is at the bay. And fifth is handling and analyzing structured data. And sixth one would be possibility to add and reduce category, geographic division, and adding new subdomains. So apart from this, NoSQL can easily be deployed in various domains, such as detecting fraud in e-commerce by employing algorithm rules, client information, location, transaction information, last device usage, etc. Second would be digital data, mobile data, and communication. Third one would be analyzing of huge unstructured data for social tracking and trends. So fourth one would be Internet of Things, and fifth one would be e-commerce, hotels, travels, which is again about the catalog availability. And seventh one or the sixth one, sorry, would be full stack development, because in real time data, big data accessibility and management, NoSQL can be deployed at front end that can store and serve operational data, whereas NoSQL can be deployed at back end to aggregate, store, and create analysis and results. So coming up with some of the very familiar examples which you see in your daily life. Now, first one would be obviously the Facebook messaging platform. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your sentiments. I should say it as Meta, I think Meta messaging platform. So Apache Cassandra was created by Facebook to power their inbox. It did this for a number of years, and Cassandra worked by the following ways, which is by creating index user messages and terms, and in the messages, and drove a search over all of those content in those messages. So the user ID was considered as a primary key, and each term has a super column, and their message IDs were in the column names. So Cassandra provides the ability to list all of its messages sent to and from a particular user. Moving forward with another common example, which is your LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has used Hadoop to churn the information about relations overnight and to push the latest graph information. Now, you would be wondering that how do you come to know about the possible connections, first degree, second degree, third degree in your LinkedIn? It is because of this only. So it generates a Voldemort key value no SQL pair, which actually stores the query for the next day. In this way, LinkedIn maintains a rolling view of all the data in the service. And then your third and the most popular one, which is Aadhaar. Aadhaar is the India's unique identification project, which is the world's largest or the biggest biometrics database. And Aadhaar is in the process of capturing demographic biometric data of over 1.25 billion residents. So Aadhaar has used MongoDB as one of its databases to store this huge amount of data. MongoDB was among the several database products apart from MySQL, Hadoop, and HBase, originally procured for running the database search. Here, MySQL is used for storing demographic data, whereas MongoDB is used for storing images. So MongoDB has nothing to do with the sensitive data. Then moving forward with your Google Mail, which you as VITNs would be using on a daily basis. So Google's Big Table was created to provide a wide column storage for a range of Google application, including Google Earth, web indexing, Google Maps, Google Books, YouTube, and your blogger.com, and even this Google Mail, or as you say it as Gmail. So Big Table actually clones providing the index lookup tables for very large data sets of information. And this is one of the very common examples which you also have been experiencing a lot these days, which is OTP system or your two-factor authentication system, where you receive a time-based token on your systems, maybe mobile devices or any other mails, and you have to actually pass the authentication on two devices to, in addition to even entering your password for the account. So this works on a classification of a Hoek-Korasik matching algorithm, which actually stores very what kind of say spamish or queries are stored in this classification algorithm, which is stored in a Firebase DB. So any person who is actually trying to get into this system in a wrong way, so this classification algorithm actually helps to store that query first in the database, so it can be used for analysis. As we discussed in the slide before, that in the backend you can have no SQL for storing such kind of queries, because by using NoSQL injections only, hackers actually try to modify or try to access the database in a wrong way, and that's where the this particular matching algorithm comes to your rescue and helps to maintain the validity and the security on your website. So if and only if the user is valid and the query, the malicious query which is not in the Firebase DB, then only the login would be approved or any like access would be provided. So this is like one of the things, like an example where the actual username and password is exposed to the users, and more like about like NoSQL injection attacks. G1 would be explaining more about injection attacks in NoSQL using machine learning. So I will hand over this to G1 now.
Yes, and now I am going to talk about injection attack in ML by SQL. First, we need to know about NoSQL. So, NoSQL database are non-tabular database and store data differently than relational tables. NoSQL database comes in variety type of based on the data model. The main types are document, key value, white column, and graph. They provide flexible schemas and scale easily with large amount of data and high user loads. Next slide, please. Now I am going to talk about SQL injection. SQL injection has been one of the major security threats over the years. Recent study revealed that the NoSQL database have also become vulnerable to injection. However, no SQL security is yet to receive the attention it deserves from the industry or academia. In this work, we develop a tool for detecting NoSQL injection using supervised learning. Um, in this, they mainly focus upon web attacks. So, in order to prevent, I'm going to tell about. In order to detect, I'm going to tell about two things. Next slide. Now, the features of NoSQL injection contains comparison, no new query, contains empty string, contains not equal contain payload, presence of return, always true expression, evaluation query operation, contain logical operator, elemental query operation. Next slide. Detection of non-SQL using ML. First is ML approach. An ML approach was developed to detect NoSQL injection using feature-based supervised learning. In this approach, they created their own dataset of being and malicious MongoDB queries by using all the available resources like OWASP, MongoDB manual, etc. Because there was no available labeled dataset for non-SQL injection. For non-ML approach, mainly time-based and blind-based Boolean injection attacks are focused. For the time-based Boolean attacks, they will append one of the code. The hacker will append one of the code, and he will stop the user for 5 seconds. Like that, many many detection are like user input validation, parameterization, etc. So this is the basic diagram of how we can detect that injection. Over to Aniket.
Yes. So NoSQL can be used in several domains, out of which application of NoSQL in IoT, that is Internet of Things, is one of the most interesting to look at. Today, billions of devices are connected to the internet, such as smartphone, tablets, home appliances, etc. For such devices, a large volume and variety of data keeps generating continuously. Relational databases are unable to store such data, but the NoSQL, being a schemaless database, permits organizations to expand concurrent access to data from billions of devices and systems which are connected, store huge amounts of data, and meet the required performance. And also, the very nature of IoT is its real time integration of data. It is easily scalable compared to relational databases and can store unstructured, semi structured, or structured data. Next slide. Yeah, so among the variety of options available, the best NoSQL databases for IoT specifically are BankDB, InfluxDB, MongoDB, and Cassandra. Next slide. Yeah, so now let us see in short one of the successful applications of IoT in real life. So FreshHub is an Israel-based smart kitchen commerce technology firm, and according to its website, the user, can add any item to your grocery cart and place orders with your retailer at any time in the comfort of your own kitchen using natural voice commands or simply waving your hand. Next slide. Yeah, so now what were the problems faced by them that NoSQL solved? So FreshHub needed to build and manage a database with over a million foodstuffs and kitchen products, as well as data gathered from a granular, precise mapping of merchant portfolios in order to properly execute this system. Another problem is that the grocery stores product portfolios, the price menus, special offers, etc., are always
Now,
changing.
healthcare information.
Also, a variety of data suppliers offer a variety of data schemas, which means that the structure keeps changing. Now, that's where NoSQL comes to the rescue. FreshUp uses MongoDB as its NoSQL database for all these purposes. According to its proponents, the benefits of a NoSQL database over a more conventional choice are due to its scalability and flexibility, which allows it to handle very large volumes of structured, semi structured, and unstructured data. Therefore, FreshUp, a smart kitchen web platform for food purchasing, is one of several examples of a successful application that processes data from large numbers of IP connected equipments, that is basically IoT, and where NoSQL emerges as one of the best options for efficient managing of the data. Next, Kavya will continue.
Now, healthcare information technology. How NoSQL can be used. Next slide. Database in healthcare sector are used in EHR, electronic health record, EMR, electronic medical record, prescription management, financial system, hospital bookings and admissions, patient satisfaction, radiology, ambulatory surgery, etc. Next slide. Healthcare information system requirements and how NoSQL database feature can help us to solve the problem. First, since the size of healthcare data increased over time, data size became a bottleneck for EHR systems. NoSQL databases are based on horizontal scalability, which allows easy and automatic scaling. Second, hello. Second, healthcare data should always be accessible for continuity of healthcare services. NoSQL databases provide high availability due to distributed nature and replication of data. Third, healthcare data is normally added, not updated. Eventual consistency suggested by NoSQL database architecture considered acceptable for EHR use cases. Fourth, healthcare data includes free text, notes, images, and other complex data. Heterogeneity of healthcare data leads to a requirement of new solutions. Flexible data models offered by NoSQL databases allow unstructured or semi structured data to be stored easily. Next slide. Some of the NoSQL benefits are high availability, scalability and performance, flexible data model, consistency considerations, open source availability. Now Nimish will continue.
Okay. So coming to the topic of real-time databases and its connection with NoSQL. Well, the first question arises is what is real-time database actually? A real-time database is a database system which uses real-time processing to handle workloads whose state is changing constantly. This differs from the traditional database containing persistent data, which is mostly unaffected by time. Okay. Well, in traditional databases, as of their design, cannot handle automatic state change listeners, and therefore, after the change of state to the database, a new query has to be made to fetch the new data, which costs so much amount of time. This makes traditional databases hard to be implemented by several application domains that demands real-time synchronization of data. Well, in real-time databases, the state of the data are constantly changed, and it can handle automatic state change of the data, and therefore and it has some callback APIs that can handle these automatic state change listeners. And Firebase is an excellent example of real-time database and its integration with NoSQL. So, next slide, please. Okay, so how did Google use NoSQL concepts to implement real-time database? Well, Firebase. Firebase is a mobile and web application platform, often referred to as a backend as a service platform, which provides complete hassle-free solution to the backend. The most popular services are Firebase Analytics, Firebase Cloud Messaging, Firebase Auth, Real-Time Database, Firebase Storage, Firebase Hosting, and much more. Firebase is backed by Google and provides Firestore and real-time database for database solution which implements NoSQL database. NoSQL database has a lot of optimization and features compared to the most of the relational database and includes flexible rules to define how the data should be structured to provide security and flexibility. Well, Firebase as well as real-time database, well, Firestore basically store the data which is stored is in the BSON format, or which is also known as binary JSON format. This makes easier to use than some SQL databases for the way to handle the data like a tree. Also, the BSON formats, due to its similarities with the JSON format, applications built with JavaScript is much easier to integrate with NoSQL databases like MongoDB and Firebase. Next slide. This is an example of a Firebase document where the data is stored in a key value fashion, or this whole structure is similar to the JSON format. For the next slide, for the working of real-time databases, Firebase applied WebSockets, which is used by both the client side and the server of the Firebase to listen to the updates that are happening in the NoSQL database and tracked, and they are tracked using snapshot mechanisms, which carries the change state of data without making a new query to the database. Firebase NoSQL databases, like other NoSQL databases, is horizontally scaling. Hence, NoSQL documents are self-contained objects, and objects can be on different servers without ever to be worrying about the joining of rows from multiple servers, as it is the case with the relational databases. Next slide. This is a simple example of using JavaScript to fetch data from the Firebase backend. Here, the collection named post uh, is the documents contained in the collection post is fetched using the snapshot mechanism, and the state of the page is updated. Next slide. This is also an example where the documents are structured in the Firebase console. So that's it.
So now that you all heard about the applications of NoSQL, and I thank my teammates as well as my classmates who presented on NoSQL and even RDBMS concepts. So now I would like to conclude everything, which is by giving that you all heard about different kinds of NoSQL, and you should know that NoSQLs are not similar, as in are not made to solve the same problems. So it is important to understand which database is appropriate depending on the scenario. So the parameters which you should take considering when you are choosing a NoSQL database are like the database features, its performance, and the context-based criteria. So you should be comparing like their features to choose the correct one for the problem you're facing. It can be depending upon the scalability or the transactional integrity and consistency, or it can be pertaining to data modeling and query support as well. So you should choose a NoSQL database over a relational database if and only if first that you have an unstructured or semi-structured data or a mix of unstructured and relational data. Second can be like if you need to support multiple queries while simultaneously loading a lot of data. Third could be you need to reuse portions of your data for multiple projects. And even you can say you have rapidly changing schemas or need to take on new information sources without a 6 month developmental cycle, then you can go for NoSQL database. Even I can say if you need to consolidate multiple or data types and sources without being forced to model data or create a schema, you can obviously choose or go for a NoSQL. So depending on your use case or your scenario, choosing a NoSQL database or a SQL database is important. The only thing which comes in SQL database is that you have to sit for a particular amount of time and decide a particular schema, because that schema doesn't change frequently in case of a SQL database. In NoSQL database, you have complete freedom of like changing the schema and deciding over the contents which you are working on. So that's all about our presentation. I hope you all got to learn a lot from this. Thank you so much.